It's another hot summer in the Old Dominion, and adding even more heat to the countryside are proposed new Clean Water Act regulations, a move by the EPA that's stirring up a storm of controversy.
We have people already in place that are doing a good job. We have farmers that grew up on the land, that know what they're doing. They don't need anybody else telling them what to do. I know what's best for my land. Why do I need some bureaucrat in Washington telling me how I should do what I should do?
Linwood Broadus farms 900 acres of cropland and pasture in Caroline County with his brother and son. Much of his cropland's near the head of the Mattaponi River, one of the cleanest rivers in Virginia.
As you can see, this is our cornfield, and this is a drainage ditch. It runs right through the middle of it. We farm right up to it. If the EPA gets what they want, they could possibly regulate what crop we put on this land. They could regulate what chemicals we put on it. They could regulate what fertilizer. And we don't need to be going to them to get a permit every time we need to spray the corn.
Don Parrish with the American Farm Bureau says this political battle centers over the legal definition of the term navigable waters of the U.S. Congress and the Supreme Court have agreed in the past to limit what waters are covered by the Clean Water Act. Parrish says these proposed new regulations would go much further.
Many from EPA would say that they're not expanding jurisdiction. But you know, for the first time ever, they're saying they're going to regulate things that only have water in them during rainfall events. They're going to regulate ditches as tributaries. Those aren't aquatic resources, they're land. I don't see how anybody can look at the definitions of this in this proposal and not understand that EPA is not expanding their regulatory footprint.
The proposed update of the Clean Water Act regulations is open for public comment this summer. The Farm Bureau has launched a national campaign to warn farmers and landowners of the broad implications of the rewrite. It's called Ditch the Rule, and Parrish says farmers are not the only citizens who should be very concerned.
Well, you know what? This rule is also very, very broad. It's not only going to impact farmers and ranchers, it's going to impact anybody that tries to build a road, a home, or a new business and bring jobs into the area.
Farmers can learn more about the proposed Clean Water Act rules at ditchtherule.fb.org. Parrish says it all comes down to how much power the EPA will have over farmers and whether it's necessary for that agency to regulate land uses upstream from navigable waters. Broadus says he already works closely with conservation officials at the state and federal level.
We're heavily regulated now. I mean, we've got the USDA, the Soil and Water Conservation. We don't need people who know nothing about the farm. That's one thing about at least with the Soil and Water Conservation, you're dealing with people who in many cases grew up on the farm and their job is working with farmers. What this could involve is we would have people who know nothing about agriculture writing the regulations and requirements for my farm.
The way our Clean Water Act works, it's a partnership where there's some waters regulated at the federal level, some waters regulated by the state. And clearly that partnership is being undermined because EPA is overburdening and overlaying what was traditionally reserved for states.
Reaction to the proposed regulations has been so strong the EPA has had to extend the comment period this summer. But Parrish says farmers and all concerned landowners need to speak out now before these unnecessary changes become the new law of the land. In Caroline County, Virginia, I'm Norm Hyde.